What's up, guys? This is episode 3 of Viewer Suggested Tracks. This is a series where I react to and rate the music you guys send me through the donation page that I have. I have 2 tracks for you guys today, but before we get into that, I just wanted to say thank you guys. We are 15,000 subscribers strong, which is pretty damn cool. And I think what's very unique about this channel is that we have quite a diverse community of people in terms of the different fan bases we have. We've got people who just love the metal stuff that I do. We've got a Tool fan base. We've got a classic rock fan base. We've got a fan base who just tunes in for the Beatles stuff. And I think the kind of challenging aspect, if you want to call it, of the channel is kind of making sure I appease the different sides of the channel and the different audience members. I was doing a kind of a crappy job at that because I hadn't done a Tool reaction in like 2 months. Hopefully I took care of that with the Lateralis reaction that I did. But other than that, it's been awesome. I can't believe how big the channel is kind of getting. It's pretty damn cool, man. I can't sometimes believe people tune into these things. Other than that, I guess we've got 2 songs to react to today. The 2 donors are Brian and Thomas and Brian. They also had some very kind words to say, so thank you guys for the donations and the kind words. And other than that, let's get into the music. Here we go. Okay, here we go. This is the first of the 2 donated tracks. This one was suggested to me by Thomas, and he wanted me to listen to School by Supertramp. I've done a little bit of reading on the band Supertramp. They are a band that was formed in London 1969, and they were created by the songwriting duo Roger Hodgson and Rick Davis. Hopefully I got that information right. And they are kind of like a progressive rock band. So that's as much of what I've learned about them as in my little bit of research. So here we go. This is the first track. I'm a sucker for a harmonica. I like this. Gives me like cowboy shootout vibes. The good, the bad, and the ugly. A lot of tension in this.
I can see you in the morning when you go to school. Don't forget your books, you know you've got to learn the golden rule.
I like the atmosphere, dude.
Tells you stop your playing, get on with your work. And be like Johnny Too Good. Don't you know he never shirks. He's coming along.
They built up the vibes on that beautifully. Okay, straight away, it's got a kind of a blend of two styles sort of going on. The dude's voice is very emotive and it sounds like hopeful, although what he's speaking about isn't hopeful. And that's kind of the dichotomy of it, because the music matches the lyrics in terms of it being kind of a sour kind of story, right? The idea of like school being no good for you in terms of you've got to listen to your orders. It sounds a bit like taking away your freedom almost. Conform. Very mysterious vibes.
After school is over, you're playing in the park. Don't be out too late, don't let it get too dark. They tell you not to hang around and learn what life's about. And grow up just like them, won't let you work it out. And you're full of doubt.
I like the sentiment on this one. Hits home. Sounds like a distant shaker as well in the background of it. Where are we going? Okay. Great keys, man. Wow. Blues piano almost, you know? Wow. Okay. That was such an interesting mix of music, man. I almost didn't know what to expect when I started this song, and it went completely left from there. I like how they let different instruments kind of take the lead as that instrumental section of the song played out, where it was like lead guitar first and then the keys took over. Brilliant, like kind of blues piano took over. It's such a unique blend of sort of sounds come together, man. I've not heard anything like this before. Super interesting. Let's back it up a little bit and catch that last bit again. And there's also like almost, it sounds like a glockenspiel almost in the background. There's so much in the background, dude. Can you guys hear that synthesizer too? Or is it like an electronic string section? Almost like doo 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 doo. Waka 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 waka.
Maybe I'm mistaken, expecting you to fight. Or maybe I'm just crazy, I don't know wrong from right. But when I'm still living, I've just got this to say. It's always up to you, if you wanna be that, wanna see that, wanna see it that way. You're coming along.
I like it, man. That might be my favorite song I've heard on this series so far, the viewer suggested series. That was quite a ride, man. It almost sounds like, this is like maybe a weird comparison. It almost sounds like a prototype to what would Pink Floyd would make of this topic, which would be Another Brick in the Wall. Right? The same kind of theme played out in that track, and they obviously did the Pink Floyd version of it. But this is kind of almost like the blueprint of what they used. It'd be interesting to see if Pink Floyd had even ever heard of Supertramp, because it has the similar themes in the sense that there is an idea that school kind of makes you conform. The adults around you kind of want you to be one way and don't let you have your own sort of freedom to express who you are in life, right? That's what is happening. I really like this line here. Do as they tell you to. Don't want the devil to come and put out your eyes. And I took that almost as they'll use anything to make you conform, even throw religion on it. You know, don't want the devil, the idea of, oh, the devil's going to come get you. Really cool song. Instrumentally, there was multiple sections of it. I felt like in the beginning bit, I really love the tone of the guitars that were going on. So there's a brilliant guitar riff that was happening, and it had this brilliant texture to it. But it switched consistently throughout the song. You had like the bluesy part of it. You had the kind of mysterious, real spooky almost beginning section of it. Loved it, man. This was a brilliant song. Lots to say about that one. I almost need to hear it again to take it all in. Okay, let's go on to the next track. This is suggested to me by Brian. This track is called, let's move this along. This was Saint Ides Heaven by Elliott Smith is the guy's name. And he seems to be a singer-songwriter who passed away kind of early. Seems to be sadly by suicide. He has like quite a harsh emotional subject to his sort of lyricism and his writing is what I've been told from the little sort of research I've done. So let's check out this track. Here we go. Let's fix the audio levels. Hopefully this will be okay. Here we go.
Everything is exactly right when I walk around here drunk every night with an open container from 7-Eleven in St. Ides Heaven. Been out haunting the neighborhood and everybody can see I'm no good. I'm walking out between parked cars with my head full of stars.
Okay, immediately what I kind of get from the lyrics and especially the doubling of the voice, I'm definitely getting some Kurt Cobain vibes. I think Kurt did it a lot and he did it to great effect. I think doubling your voice, especially when done correctly, when there's certain moments to choose from, like for example, when there's very little in terms of instrumentation, it adds a certain quality to it, like a haunting one, because the double track is whispered. It's a really cool effect that's going on. So it's kind of telling the story of like a delinquent teen at the moment. That's what I'm getting at least. Or like someone who's lost in life.
With my head full of stars. High on amphetamines. The moon is a light bulb breaking. It'll go around with anyone, but it won't come down for anyone. Think you know what brings me down? That I want those things you could never allow. You see me smiling, you think it's a frown turned upside down. 'Cause everyone is a fucking pro and they all got answers from trouble they know. And they all gotta say what you should or shouldn't do, though they don't have a clue. High on amphetamines, the moon is a light bulb breaking. It'll go around with anyone, but it won't come down for anyone, and I won't come down for
Interesting song. I kind of let that one play through all the way. I have a couple of things to say about it. I was going to stop at this point where I heard the chorus, where I thought this was a metaphor for him when he said, it'll go around with anyone, but it won't come down for anyone. As in, he was speaking of high on amphetamines, but made a kind of a connection with the moon. I thought he was actually speaking about himself when he said, but I won't come down for anyone. It won't come down. And then he actually said it at the end. So it was kind of, yeah, he's used the moon as sort of a metaphor for himself, him needing these drugs, and he'd go around partying, but he doesn't seem to want to break the cycle. It doesn't matter for whoever comes in his life, which is a sad place to be. And I think that's the most kind of intriguing part of the song in terms of its melody, its chords that it's choosing to use, and the guitar tone is really kind of upbeat and fun. And I think that's what it would be like to be on amphetamines, or at least what I've heard from documentaries and interviews that I've watched of people who are addicted to the drug. So that's how it sounds and feels, but the lyrics are super dark. And I think that's the dichotomy of being on amphetamines, is that you're dealing with pain, and the underlying thing is a lot sadder than the high that you get. So interesting song in that sense. It has that weird juxtaposition in it. But in general, I don't love tracks like this. I mean, they have to be executed extremely well, extremely well. I'm talking about like Something in the Way by Nirvana is like the very best version of this, in my opinion. So it's a cool song, but would it go on the playlist? I don't know. I think the first song was my favorite of the two that I heard so far today. But regardless, I appreciate it. It's certainly an interesting songwriting piece. There were some good lines in this thing. I thought this bit was funny because everyone is a fucking pro. So again, the theme seems to be like anti-taking advice, but in a very different way. Whereas the first track, I agree with the sentiment of not taking the advice of the adults in the room. I've kind of done that with my life for a lot of it, at least. And it's, if you have a certain direction you believe your life should go towards, you can't depend on other people who have chosen a normal path in life to give you their advice. It doesn't always work out. So I agreed with the sentiment in the first one. The second one, it came from the mouth of a person on drugs. And so it's like harder to take this because everyone is a fucking pro and they've got answers from trouble they've known, which is very true. They've got answers from trouble they've known. Their advice fits their life. I think lastly, I should say, to close this thing out, is the most interesting part of the viewer suggested track series, I think, is that people send over like their favorite songs of an artist, and it tends to be like an album cut. It's like a deeper track in their discography. Whereas for a new viewer, it's usually better to listen to the more poppy stuff to ease your way into a sound. I've heard actually people in the comments talk about this too. So I don't mind it at all. I don't mind taking a deep dive and listening to what would be, I think, an album cut of Elliott Smith or Supertramp. But it tends to kind of shape the way you think of the song because it's hard to grasp the music at first. But regardless of all of that, I'm kind of waffling now. Thank you guys for the donations, and other than that, I guess if you guys want to hear your tracks played in this series, you can donate using the link down below, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.